Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Diane's Sewing Room. Here I share my love of sewing tips, refashions and things that I've just been making. So I hope you'll find something you like here. Now, a little quirky thing I'm going to share first of all. Now, you may have used this before, and if you're a quilter you probably will have, but I'm finding it very strange. Now, I bought this week and it's invisible thread. Now you'd think after all these years of sewing that I would have used this before, but I haven't, and it was my first time buying this and I've had to stop because I just can't get on with it. Now I thought it was fabulous when I originally got it out of the wrapper, and it's very difficult to see. It does what it says, invisible thread, but to me it's like trying to sew with a strand of hair. It's even finer than a strand of hair. Let me know in the comments if you've used this, if there are any tips to using this and what I'm doing wrong, because I just could not get on with this at all. I tried different tensions. I'm finding that it was snapping and I just found it really difficult to thread. I find it difficult to handle, and I know lots of you are probably going to say that this is absolutely amazing stuff, but it's just not doing it for me. Yeah, so if you've got any useful tips on using this, I would love to hear them. So that's the first thing out of the way. Now, I said last week that I was going to be, or in my previous video, that I was going to be finishing off my quilt that I've been making for a little while now. Now, I started it back in February, I think it was, just making the blocks, and I was in no hurry to complete it, so it was just making a few blocks a week, and then I would sew it together at a later date. So it's been ready to go for quite a while now, and I was just deciding what I was going to border it in, and then I just needed to back it. Now, I'm not a big quilter. This is not something I usually do. Usually I make clothing. If you watch my videos you'll have seen that. Clothing, handbags, things like that. So this is a little bit new to me. So I'm not an expert quilter, so I know that lots of you out there, you do this all the time and you make amazing creations. So it's not an expert one, so I'm going to share it with you. Now the quilting I've just done lines down this one. So the evenly spaced lines all the way down it. At a later date I might do something more complex, but for now that's what I've done. So I'm going to hold it up for you so you can get a better look. I think I'm going to stand over there. Finished quilt. So I've edged it, but I've not bound it. So I've done it in this sort of daisy polycotton that I bought. So I am happy with how it's turned out. Now I've got it on the bed at the moment and it's just over the top of the regular duvet, but we're getting into the summer months now. Well, it's a little late spring. So what I'm going to do is, I'm thinking I'm just going to have that on with a sheet underneath in the summer months, and then in the winter it can be an extra layer over the top of the duvet. So I'm not sure how you use your quilts, whether you use them on the back of sofas or different things, or whether you do use them solely on your beds. Let me know, that's something else I'm interested in. They are really useful and great for using up scraps, so I've really enjoyed making that. So that's item number one. Now the next thing that I mentioned last time when I did my last video was that I was going to use up some scrap fabric. So some jersey fabric, the Inky Grove that I had left. And what I've done is I've made a pattern that I have already. And I've made it before. And it's this one. I'll get it down so we can see here. So I mentioned this last time that I have made this top. And it's a really nice loose fitting Burda top. So I went ahead and did that. Now, as something that generally happens with fabrics, if they're ever so slightly different, is your garment will be a little bit different in feel if you've used a slightly heavier fabric, and this one is slightly heavier than the one I made last time. So it's because the jersey is a little thicker, but I still really like it. It's really nice. It's just got a slightly different feel to it. So it's wide neck, sort of boat neck. It's got vents at the side like this. and this really loose sleeve that goes into a little cuff here, so it's sort of gathered into a small cuff, and the same on the neck. Now I did turn the neck back again on this one because I just found I wanted it a little narrower with this fabric being a little thicker. So that's what I've done here. I've sort of just turned it in an extra amount to make that thinner because I preferred that, and I really like that. It's a really nice loose summer top, and the original, if you haven't seen it before, I have wore it on this channel before. It's a favourite of mine. This is a light jersey, so a much more sort of slinky feel to this one, sort of floppier fabric for a technical term. So this one's got a slightly deeper border to the neck here, neckband, same little cuffs and same vent detail. So other than that, I've done it the same size, apart from, oh, one thing, on the blue one, on the Inky Grove one, I just brought the neck in just ever so slightly more, because I do find with this one, it sort of drops off your shoulder sometimes. That can be quite nice in the summer, but I do find that sometimes I'm just hoiking it up all the time. So on that one, I just adjusted it by 2 centimetres, and I had wrote that on my pattern last time that I made it, that when I made it again, I would just take it in ever so slightly. So that's what I've done on that one. So I've got 2 tops like that now, and I really like both of them. They're both really wild summery prints. And what I'm wearing today is one of my makes that I did from the Gertie book. So I did a little make of this one on one of my previous videos. I will link that in at the end just in case you haven't seen that. And I made 2 blouses out of the Gertie book that I bought myself at Christmas. And this is the one that I'm wearing today. I love this keyhole neckline. On the back has buttons down the back, which I love. So they both have this feature. But the only thing is, it's quite tricky to put on. So I've got a bit of a knack to it now. I undo the top 2 and I undo 2 part the way down. I leave the middle ones, which are the hardest to reach up your back, and then I just pull it over my head, and I found that is the best way to do it. So there's a tip for you wearing these vintage button down blouses. So that's what I'm wearing, and this fabric was from John Lewis in Sheffield before it closed down. So I just bought myself this one piece, and I really love it, so I'm glad I got that. It's got a nice little sort of ruched detail on the shoulders of this shirt. So I will link the name of the book and the pattern that this one was for in the description below. And what I'm wearing on the bottom half are some jeans. So I'm going to have to come over here again so you can see them. So these are wide leg jeans. This is the top. Pockets here and a little button here. And if you're interested in making these jeans, and I'm going to be making some more, but I think I'll make them ever so slightly narrower on the leg. I've got these wide ones, so I'll have some narrow ones as well, but I will use the same pattern. And it's this simplicity pattern, mainly because it's so comfy. It worked out really well and I really like it. So I'm going to make it again, but I'm going to make it in that dark sort of indigo colour and just make the legs more narrow. You can do that on a pattern, just take your time and just adjust it slightly. It does work. So that's what I'm going to be doing next, and that's what I'm wearing today. Again, I will link this in the description below. So that's just a quick one today, and that's all from me. I hope you're having a fabulous week. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I will be back soon with some more makes. I've got a dress planned this week and some other bits of mending and sewing doing, so I'll be back soon with that for you. Please let us know in the comments below what you thought about the thread, the quill, and if you plan on making any of these patterns. I'll be back soon. That's all from me. Bye for now.